So when the love deepens after a traumatic event occurs between two humans, that can only happen between these two humans because of the intimacy, I believe, and the closeness and the connectedness, is when the love deepens, you're on the right path. If the love doesn't deepen, I think that would be where you could question. Because if you stay in suffering and if you stay in a reactionary space and you're not actually healing and doing the work and doing the work together and healing and also understanding each other in a deeper way.
Yeah.
Because we've had our behaviors. I was single for almost 15 years after my divorce.
That's true.
For all intents and purposes. So I've really had to learn to navigate partnership again. I'm still learning how to navigate partnership.
Yeah. Welcome to the show. I'm honored to have Michele here. She is a dear friend of mine, someone who I go to talk about deep things, deep thoughts, navigating business, navigating hiring certain people, as well as just life, being a really good friend. The reason I trust her and go to her is because not only is she a good friend, honest, loyal, but she has over 30 years of experience in the corporate world. She rose from entry-level training program to CEO over a 30-year career, and she advanced through the ranks of corporate America. She understands the politics, the bureaucracy, and even the misogyny. She has impacted so many people, but her true transformation actually happened when she left and she started to unravel all the different layers of suppressed trauma, and she began a profound journey of healing and reclamation. I am so excited to have her on because her truth, her rawness, and her experience, I'm going to be asking her really deep questions about all different things that us women are going through in our lives, whether it is family, whether it is dealing with narcissistic people, whether it's dealing with business and growth, or just coming out of something quite traumatic and abusive. I can't wait to welcome her. Welcome to the Danette May Show, where you'll receive profound breakthroughs, courage to break old patterns, and live into your soul's purpose. Each week, I will bring you epic guests and live coaching to remind you of your power. You have the ability to achieve extraordinary things, and the time to start is now. I have my good friend Michele here with us today, and we are doing this like we're sitting. I'm gonna make a scene up. It might be a tequila, or do you like a good wine?
I do like a good wine.
But do you like a dirty martini?
I do.
Okay, dirty.
On occasion,
any of
yes.
those, or a raw cacao?
Yes, or
any
raw
of
cacao.
those. We're sitting at the beach by the tide pools, and we're sipping a drink that we love. And we're just chatting as friends. So Michelle's going to ask me questions. I'm going to ask her questions, just like we would. We want to bring you into this conversation and let you feel like you're sipping your favorite drink with us. And hopefully we'll ask the question that you're actually thinking. And so that we're speaking on your behalf, but we're bringing us into this conversation. And I want to hear from all of you when this is over, if you really like this, because I really want to kind of take the show more in this way.
Yeah.
To really tap into you, the listener, and what you really want us to ask so that we're all in this conversation together.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
So here we are.
And this scenario it's actually real because we were in Costa Rica sitting at
That's why it's like one of my favorite memories is we went to Costa Rica in March.
We did.
And I was like, it was kind of a last minute trip for me to ask Michele to go, but I was going. My intention was I was like, you know, I had been doing business for so many years, and I was like, all I want is to go down to a really great place that I love, which is Costa Rica, get body work every day, eat amazing food, walk to the tide pools, soak in them as long as I want. And then I was like, well, Michele would be the cherry on top. Like, I wonder if Michele would want to join. You know, we'd have our time alone, but then we would get into adventures. I love just doing life like that. And so we went to Costa Rica. She said yes, which I was shocked. She came kind of last minute. It wasn't like it wasn't like a big long planned trip.
Couple weeks.
Yeah. Not a lot of people would say yes to that.
No.
Because it wasn't easy. It was like planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yes, it was. You really wanted to get there is what I told you.
Yeah.
In that journey to get to know Sarah.
Yeah, because it was no Sarah. And yeah, what did you uncover from that trip? Because I'm kind of a wild one. Yeah. I know this about me.
Yeah.
We stumbled upon magic.
Yes.
And I love when you can see the filaments of, what do I like to call it, is in between the matrix lines or timelines. And that's what I love about Costa Rica is I get shown those filaments.
Yes.
Of the illusion that we're all living in.
Yes.
So what did you experience?
Let me just start with the fact that our friendship has evolved me in ways that I couldn't have imagined. And you have pushed every boundary that I might have had. So I'm all prim. I'm got everything tied down. Everything's overly planned. Everything is structured. And you brought this wildness into my life, this freedom, this play, this laughter that has been so good for my soul, so good for my soul. So when you call on something like this, I respond. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm like, I'm going
You're like, it's not comfortable.
No, Costa Rica actually holds a lot of trauma for me. I've had a lot of very challenging experiences in Costa Rica. I was equally called as I was fearful, but I was ready to face it. And I knew whatever we were going to experience was going to be magical. There was no question in my mind. And I don't know if you remember this. I just want to transgress back to one story before we talk about Costa Rica.
Yeah.
But when we first met in person in November of 2020 in
You have a good memory.
in Sedona.
Oh, that was our very first time meeting in
person.
Was it in Sedona? Of course.
Yes. You're like, come to Sedona. I want to meet you in person. I won't even backtrack to how we met and that early transition of our friendship, because that's also a fascinating story.
Yeah.
But if you remember, we went on a long hike along a riverbank and we sat down to discuss our dreams again, which is what we're going to talk about in Costa Rica. And we were sitting on this bank of this little
creek in this kind of valley.
In a valley.
Valley of like rocks and creek.
Yes.
Like you can imagine the red rocks of Sedona.
It was stunning.
Yeah.
And this raven flew down with this wingspan. I don't know what the wingspan one was. It was massive.
Yeah, it was massive.
And went right by us.
Where we could actually feel the wind
against us.
Yeah.
And then above us sat in a tree.
Yeah.
And we held that moment. And whatever we were expressing at that time felt very similar to what happened in Costa Rica on so many levels. And the way Mother Nature allows us, gives us symbolism, gives us expressions of this is a moment. This is a moment that this is to be recognized. Do you understand? Don't forget what's being expressed here. So I held that from the very first time to even the most recent Costa Rican experience was very similar. Sitting on the beach and down by those tide pools where you had said they're just incredible, which they are absolutely incredible. And I don't know if you also remember, but there was a young woman who took a picture of us.
Yeah. Ooh.
And caught that moment on film and came up and said, I hope you don't mind, but you two looked unbelievable. And I just wanted to share this moment with you, and airdropped it to us as they do. And so we do have it captured on film, but what is not captured is what we discussed, which was, again, I think you and I cover every topic there is in a given moment. And we go down rabbit holes of curiosity and conversations of exploration.
Yeah.
Of course, we also discuss big dreams. We hold space for each other and share what we see for each other, which I can't express how powerful that is. To be able to have somebody that you deeply trust and love hold a mirror up to you and say, here's what I see, and here's what I see for you. And when it hits your soul as an expression of, oh my God, that's what I see for myself, but someone else sees it, it's not too big of a dream.
Yep.
It's not too big of a dream. But yes, that was a beautiful time. And I'd love to hear your version of that experience.
What was really impactful, well, obviously all that was really fun, but I just remember the last day I'm leaving and we hear in a random conversation about this location that's a spa. I thought it was like a bodywork spa. That's where my brain
We were going
went.
for a massage.
I'm up for one any time of the day. And we're like, and I'm like, what do you want to do? This is our last day. And you're like, it's like permission to be like, I don't know if it will be good or not, but this is what's pinging me. And it was like, let's go check this place out. So of course we're like, can we even get in and get a massage? Maybe they'll let us just drink some tea. I have no idea where this place is, but it's like taking us up into the mountains. And my assistant, because of course I just call her and I'm like, hey, can you book us massages or at least just a tea? We want to come up. And she was like, no, they're really busy, but you can go up. And we're trying to find this place. And there's really no signs. It's just weird. I even pull into the wrong place. Spanish-speaking guy just motions me out of the car so he can drive me to the right spot, which we don't speak English or Spanish and English together.
Yeah.
Takes us and tells us to walk up a mountain. We walk up a mountain and it's just this, there's a teepee. it's like this, you can see this whole spa, but you realize all of a sudden you're not just at a regular spa. This magical like fairy woman comes out. She's like, I know exactly what we're going to do. Takes us through what, 3 hours each of a
Yes.
process with these profound healings and like experiences that I've never been introduced to. And I couldn't even speak. I had to hurry and get on a plane. I cried during the session. It was so magical. That's just like the pieces to it that I'm like laughing at, because you can't make that stuff up. It can't even be planned.
No.
But that was a big memory for me. That was
Yeah.
a moment of like surrendering and trusting and this bigger power outside of myself. I'm always loving to be reminded of that, because I have big dreams. I have big ideas of things that I want to move the needle on or make happen. But then I'm always reminded, Danette, just follow your curiosity, and I have something bigger in mind.
Yeah. It was absolutely magical. And the trust, the drive there should not be underestimated.
Oh, yeah, the drive.
The dirt roads were winding
And
up.
it was super steep, like the car's bottoming out.
I don't even know how she was driving. I was just sitting there holding on for dear life. And we arrived to this place, as you said. But I think the other thing that would be really important for you to share is you have this really beautiful freedom and intuitive sense to just be guided. And you really trust it. You really trust it. But you also had some fear there.
Yeah.
You had a little bit of fear there, if you remember. And you were like, I don't know what's happening. What are we doing? What is this? Like, so there's a realness to you around that. It's not just, you're not just this freedom, like going anywhere, doing. You have these check-in moments, even with your own soul, to say, do I trust this?
Yeah.
And then you drop right in.
Yeah. No, it really, my fear comes up, and now I've seen a pattern in it, in a moment where there's going to be deep healing. And I've heard from other healers, and it feels a little bit of truth in my own body, that if we believe in this idea that we have multiple dimensions happening at one time, multiple timelines, lifetimes of, I'm living 1920 right now as I'm sitting right here with you in 2025, right?
Yes.
Like these multiple dimensions. And I feel that I've been in a lot of ceremonies or a lot of healing, and I've been hurt or taken out in my I'll feel fear in my own meditations in my own home. Someone's going to come up behind me. It's really strange. I've had a lot of moments with that. So this woman who I don't know had put me on this table, and she puts this light mask over me. So all I'm seeing is it's this I don't even know what this technology is, but it was so deep. And she said, you're going to feel like you're on a drug journey, like a plant journey, but without any journey. It releases DMT in your brain. And then you're listening to a sound. All my senses are covered up. And then I'm feeling it. The bed's vibrating, the lights, the music. And then she decides to do acupuncture on me at the same time. So I'm feeling this prick in my hand, and I just start crying. It's like I'm instantly freaked out. And she like pulls the ear. She's like, you're safe. Just breathe. Like whispering in my ear, it's okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she knew, because I was like, am I going to die?
Yeah.
That's the instincts I get. It's really strange. And I don't think you felt that. But
I dropped right in.
But I'm like, I'm going to die on this table. Someone's going to take me out.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Yeah,
But
so interesting.
she knew. I went on an amazing journey. And
Yeah, it was an incredible time.
Yeah.
And would not have unfolded had, honestly, for me, just surrendered to this is what I feel called to, because I hadn't had a calling. I was like, whatever you feel is right. And we went.
Yeah.
We went. And it was beautiful.
Yeah. So
Beautiful.
it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. I'd do it again anytime.
Yeah. I love life like this. It's just, I do love flying. And I'm actually heading to Greece this week.
You are.
I think I told you. I think I told you the very first, and then I told Craig.
Yeah.
By the way, heading to Greece this week
so
on a minute trip.
So excited for
Phil
you.
called. He just goes, okay, let's go.
I can't wait to see what unfolds there.
I know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But
I wish I could go.
I know. I did invite you.
I know you did.
I like last minute. I know
Trust
this is
me.
a far-fetched
Trust me.
situation.
I felt the pull. This one I couldn't pull off. Why don't we talk about female friendships? And I know you've talked a lot about your female wounding, but I've seen a beautiful evolution of you. And so I'd love you asked me, where did the original wounding come from? Where did yours come from?
I've sat with this. So for anyone listening, when we talk about these healing things that we do, sometimes it looks like, where did this belief system come from? That can be healing work in itself, of really looking at, where did I pick up this belief that women aren't safe?
Yeah.
Where did I pick up this innate feeling that I'm going to be hurt in this female friendship? Because let me say, if you believe that, you are going to.
Yes.
And so that was a belief system I think I picked up really young, and I think it came from my mom. And most of our woundings around friendship, our belief systems around female friendship, do come from our, whether she's saying it or not, we're watching as kids. And my mom didn't have friends. She was busy raising us and doing her religious duties and her womanly duties in the home. And so she just didn't have friends. So I always watched that. And then I would hear, women will stab you in the back. I was raised with all brothers, just like you.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad saying that women will stab you in the back. And so you take on these belief systems, whether you experienced it or not. And I think also I picked up something, I think, actually from my mom in their behavior when I went through my really difficult divorce and I was leaving the religion that I was raised in. They didn't like that. And so the way they handled it was to stop talking to Danette, to shut her out. And that was my first real trauma that I had to really heal, was, oh, if your family can shut you out because you believe differently or think differently than they do, then everyone else could do it too. And my mom did that. In my mind, now that I'm a mom, obviously this happened when I was a mom, is really, they've apologized. It was their first response. I imagine they thought, this will self-correct Danette. If we pull her away and stop talking to her and not help her during this really difficult time, she'll come back to the church. I think it was more about the church than it was about the divorce. And that made me feel very unsafe.
Yeah.
That women, even if it was your own mom, if I don't do what they want or say what they want or live into the way that they believe, they'll leave me.
Yeah.
And so I've had to, of course, I attracted relationships like that, friendships like that, showed me exactly what I believed. But those friendships that actually hurt me with those type of behaviors happened after that incident with my mom and dad. So of course I attracted that.
Yeah.
That ghosting, that abandonment, because whatever reason, it doesn't really matter. But I had to go and heal a lot of that. And I've been in that process of healing that. And I think when you take a journey, and I think humans are just humans, and I've learned that also it doesn't have to be that traumatic. Humans are just humans. And if you can't serve what they want, they tend to leave.
Yeah.
And so when you're in business, sometimes people want stuff from you because of business.
Yes.
And I've had to face that, which is a little less painful, but it's still there.
Yeah.
And now I'm realizing I have really good friendships now. But they're smaller. I feel like I've really done a lot of work, and maybe someone will disappoint me, but ultimately I've had to heal that. And I think I'm not witnessing it anymore because I've really gone and done the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree. And I've seen you set boundaries now that I've never saw you set before.
Yeah.
You're really clear.
Yeah. Like I've left some friendships and when I say left, they didn't do anything. It's just that I got the instinct to not keep going further into the closeness into my heart with certain people.
Yeah.
I can, if I saw them on the street, great. If they needed something, I'd probably just offer something or whatever. But inner chamber people, it's fewer and I'm more clear. Yeah.
Yeah. I've witnessed it. It's been beautiful.
Yeah. You've been a big piece to that because I've tried to navigate that because I haven't always been really good at it.
Yeah. The other thing I've witnessed with you is even sometimes if you get very vulnerable with me, which you do a lot, honestly, there are sometimes you'll have a hangover.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll leave me a message. You'll leave me a message right away. I just want to put voice to this, which I think is so beautiful because you're not holding it in and hiding it. You're literally expressing. And I just get to hold the space for you that anything you share is safe with me. And time does prove some things out. Yeah. So I just hold that space. I don't question anything. I just hold the space. And I think it's really important to allow people to state how they're feeling. Yeah. Because then it's out of their body. It's out of their body. I just want to go back to something you said that just hit me, which is what happens in our conversations. When you said that, when you started to answer the question around where this came from, and you said it started with your mom, which most of it does with the female side of our family, I had never thought about that for myself. And I'm just sitting here. It just was like, oh, wait, what? So what was my story with my mom? And because our relationship was not amazing, but it wasn't terrible. But what I didn't see her, she didn't have friends.
Yeah.
I never was able to witness what it was like to see my mom have friendships or what that looked like.
Exactly.
And then I even think about my sister, and my sister and I are night and day from each other, night and day. We're as close as anyone in my family. I would say my friends are way closer to me, know way more about me than my own sister does, which is fine with me. I think it's family we choose.
Exactly.
I've never been a believer of blood is thicker than water. I just don't believe in that. I believe in the people that are closest to you are huge. Some of those are blood and some are not. But thank you for sharing that, because I hadn't even thought about, wow, I never saw an expression of sisterhood growing up.
Yeah, I think that you just nailed it, because even your relationship with your sister is probably like the relationships you have with your mom.
Yeah.
And your mom, you never watched your mom have deep relationships. So of course you're like, wasn't bad, but I didn't see anything close.
No.
So that's what you probably emulated.
Right.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that's why we're saying do the healing work,
Yes.
because it sucks. It does. There's moments when you're like, oh, this is so hard. But the richness of friendship right now is so good.
So
The
good.
richness of your intimacy with your lover partner can be so good.
Yes.
Exploring the world can feel so good. Everything feels so much brighter and better.
It does.
Where I don't think I would have these deep relationships if I had not done the healing work. I
Oh.
know that for sure, actually.
Yes. Yep. And still doing it.
Yeah.
Still doing it.
Constantly.
Constantly.
Yep.
The other one I would say about friendships, which I think we both witnessed, is as friendships, can fade away. If the friend is not growing at the same rate you are, which is totally fine. It has nothing, I have nothing bad to say. It's just there's times that the paths separate. And it was beautiful for when it was there, and yet we're just going in two different directions.
Mhm.
And that's okay. And I give myself permission sometimes to where some friends might be disappointed by me or let down. And
Yeah.
it's just, God, I wish them well. They did nothing. It's just, I've outgrown the relationship. My needs right now are greater than they can give. And I've come to realize that I have an expectation right now that any relationship I'm in, it has to fulfill needs.
Yeah.
It can't just be surface level anymore. And I certainly have those. But the inner circle, no, it has to.
Totally.
It has.
I've had to really wrestle with that, because I tend to have the personality that if I get really close to someone, I want them there forever.
Yes.
And that's not always what they want. And they still probably consider me a friend. They would call me. They do text me. I have friends like this that I'm like, wait, we're inner close friends.
Right.
And I'm like, but the dynamics have changed and they don't want to call or visit or how it used to be. But to them, they're probably like, we're still friends. But I'm like, oh, it's just different. And I've noticed I have to let the gas off a little bit and let people do life the way they do it. And it's not always going to be the way I see it.
Agree.
I like the weekly calls.
I know. Me too.
I really like that stuff.
Me too. And then it bleeds into other days most times.
Yes,
Most
totally.
times.
We'll talk tomorrow. Exactly.
Something will come up. Let's chat again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch you two in that evolution. I know we've been there for each other with friendship. And yeah, I think you're just a really loyal friend. So you have to be very careful who you let in, just because I think you hold on to. But that's probably why we like each other.
We do.
Because we both have a similar idea of what that should look and feel like.
Yes.
And everybody has a different version, and that's okay too.
Yeah. And I think it's a really strong characteristics that I have great loyalty. The downside is that I stay in way too long, as you mentioned. As of recently, I've let go of some long-term friendships that have been toxic for a long time. And I have just gotten really clear. And again, it's all come through my healing. So as my healing has come through, so much awareness and epiphanies have come through, and clarity around, wait, why am I in this friendship? It's abusive. It really is abusive. Again, as we keep saying, it all comes back to the healing. And then you get yourself at a frequency that the people that are drawn into my life right now are magical.
Yeah.
And so much deeper. And that's just for me. Everybody has their own experience, and for you. But it's really been beautiful. And life can be incredibly rewarding and fulfilling with incredible partnerships and friendships around you.
Yeah. I want to ask you about intuition for a minute. How have you cultivated your intuition? How do you know to trust it? What are you trusting?
Yeah. So I have to get quiet. If there's too much, if I stay too much up here. So this brain has gotten me a long way. But intuition That's not where it comes from.
Yeah.
Intuition's coming from down here in the heart and the soul.
Yeah.
And so I've got to quiet this. My natural innate instinct is to keep this, the big brain keep going, to learn to quiet this, to get into my intuition. I wish I had quieted this a long time ago, but quieting this required the healing, because the stories and the reels and the narrative that went on for years, decades, controlled my behaviors, controlled my decisions, controlled my actions. Once I got that quieted and dropped in, intuition comes very strongly for me. And I say, I hear things.
You hear things.
Things drop in, a thought comes in, and I can feel my whole body lights up. I have chills up and down my spine. That's the validation.
Okay.
That I know I'm on, this is something.
You get chills.
I get chills, literally up
and it's like a hearing, because it's like a word. You'll hear it, but it's like yourself talking almost, or it's like another voice.
It's just another voice, or it's a clarity, or it's not somebody else's voice. I know. And it comes through, and then my body responds. And when my body responds, I know.
You're locked in.
I'm locked in.
Wow.
And
that's
then
cool.
time, experience. You really start to trust it when you really start saying, I knew that. I knew in my gut this was wrong, and I didn't act accordingly.
Yeah.
So some of it's experience. Most of it is quieting the mind and allowing the intuition, because the feminine power is our intuition.
Yeah.
And so also quieting the masculine and allowing this balance to cut, this equilibrium to come back in has really been really beneficial to me.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually really important. I get chills too.
You do?
Yeah. I'll get them like up my cheek.
You
I'm
will.
like, okay, it's more not I need to go do something. It's if I say something and I'll be like, oh, that's truth.
Okay.
My truth, I should say, not the universal truth, but.
And how old were you when you started cultivating your intuition and really trusting it?
Not until I started going through what everybody thought was crazy pants Danette, which was back in 2011 and 12. And it was like the loss of my son. I started to leave my relationship, questioning the religion I was in. And that's when I started listening to myself. I think I was always pretty intuitive, actually, as a kid.
Yeah.
Very connected to animals and to nature. And you just learn how to turn it off, especially in the religion I was in, because you're supposed to believe what others tell you to believe.
Yes.
And if you're off that, it's really confusing. And so to stay in that and to stay in the line, you turn it off.
Yeah.
You got to turn it off or you're not going to make it.
So you would say you're mid-30s.
Mid-30s.
Which is really amazing.
Yep.
Which is really amazing. I would say mine was closer to my mid-50s.
I think, like you said, I think in our other interview together, you feel that women are doing it sooner.
I do.
Like things are shifting quicker.
They're shifting way quicker.
I think, I look at my kids. I'm like, I think they're doing it in their 20s and their teens more than I was.
I do too.
Yeah.
So I'd speak to the young ones, this trusting your intuition, cultivating it and doing it. I'd also say to the women that are closer to my demographic, it's never too late.
Yeah.
You can cultivate it now and beautiful things can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah. Thanks for asking that. I'm trying to think of the woman who's sitting with us drinking her dirty martini.
Yeah.
I like to make it extra dirty.
You do. You do.
I'm just kidding.
And you have about 3 sips and then it's over.
And then it's over. What is she wanting us to ask? What do you feel into her? What is she wanting us to talk about and ask one another? Because I want to invite her in. And you're driving in your car. You're like, it's me. And I'm thinking this.
Yeah, which is what happens. I think that we've talked about a lot of different things. There's some subjects I think that we talk about that I don't know that we're ready to share yet.
We talk about sex, guys.
We do, a lot. And
I think women, but it's not on this platform. It might be at a live event.
Yes. I think that feels probably more appropriate.
Yeah.
A little more intimate, should we say. So we're probably not going to talk about that today. Relationships we've talked about a little bit. I've talked to you a lot about your journey and how you've navigated it and what happened. You've been very helpful in helping me as well as doing my own healing. And I said to anybody, it's really interesting around intimate partnership, because there's a lot of healing you can do on your own.
Oh, yeah.
A tremendous amount. And no one should underestimate that. But there's nothing like being in partnership, that there's a whole nother level of...
It's a reflection.
It is. Different mirror right back to you. And that journey's been really challenging and beautifully rewarding, but it isn't an easy one.
Yeah. I want to ask you about this because I just asked Craig this the other day.
Yeah.
I'm sensing some relationships, but I'm talking about intimacy, guys, like lover relationship. You're sleeping with them.
Right.
So it brings a whole nother gamut. And you think you're going to live your life with them. It's going to bring stuff up, right?
Yes.
Like you're choosing them. But I feel like some relationships like this just are bumpier and some are really smooth and are not triggering. When I say bumpy, there's triggers that need to get resolved together because they're the only person who will trigger that part of you.
Yes.
And then some I think are smooth and there's really not very many triggers. And then I think there's some that there's just a lot of triggers, but you really like the suffering and you choose it.
Yes.
So do you agree?
I do agree.
And so it's like finding, because I think when it feels really delicious, that's more rare probably, that less triggery.
Yes.
But when there's too many triggers,
Now,
you need to start to go, where am I choosing suffering and choosing contention and struggle when I really don't need to be choosing this?
Yeah. I think there's two angles. And again, I am not going to be a relationship expert.
Well, we're both
this
not
time,
relationship
but,
experts,
let's
but
be
we're
really,
speaking as
let's
friends.
be really clear on that.
Listen.
But my experience so far has been when we have gone through a challenging time, whether it be I'm triggered, he's triggered, we're both triggered, whatever it is. As we've navigated through that, and we're both still doing our work. We both have to be doing the work, and we're both doing the work, is when the love deepens. So when the love deepens after a traumatic event occurs between two humans, that can only happen between these two humans because of the intimacy, I believe, and the closeness and the connectedness, is when the love deepens, you're on the right path. If the love doesn't deepen, I think that would be where you could question. Because if you stay in suffering and if you stay in a reactionary space and you're not actually healing and doing the work and doing the work together and healing and also understanding each other in a deeper way.
Yeah.
Because we've had our behaviors. I was single for almost 15 years after my divorce.
That's true.
For all intents and purposes. So I've really had to learn to navigate partnership again. I'm still learning how to navigate partnership.
Yeah.
And in doing it, I've uncovered all sorts of interesting opportunities for me to heal. I've shared with you, I realized I have PTSD from prior relationships, both work-related and personally related.
Yeah.
And as I've uncovered, the latest work I'm doing is in a therapy called EMDR, and it has been profoundly deepening for me to understand, oh, wait, I thought it was tone with someone because I had to hear my parents fighting as a child all the time. So if I hear people raise voices, I react. Even to this day, I really struggle with it. And I'm working to heal that. But what I've realized more and more is, oh, no, I'm reacting to prior experiences about being controlled. And so what I perceive as something is not that. And it was like, oh, wait, wow, I have to unravel this for myself. So I find myself being less reactionary. I find myself not trying to pick at every little thing. I just let stuff roll off me now where it's, this is not important. Where before I'd hold on to it tight. I'd hold on to it tight because I'm wired to look for red flags.
Yeah.
Through my experiences, I'm just wired. And I have to keep reminding myself, as a therapist said to me, Michele, you just have to remember, this isn't that.
Yeah.
And it was really helpful for me to start to understand that.
That is so interesting you just said that, because I just did a session and she was like, that was then, this is now. She's like, that's your new mantra. That was then, this is now.
Yes.
And I've really used that a lot. That was then, this is now.
Yeah. And it's true in all aspects of our life. No matter where you might get triggered, it's, okay, is it really what's happening now? Or is this a prior experience?
Yeah.
And if it's a prior experience, let's go back and heal that. Let's go back and reframe that and give yourself grace too. That's the other thing. It's really to give yourself grace. We're imperfect humans, just trying to coexist here. So giving yourself grace too. But I agree, when you stay in this constant battle situation, it's not healthy for anybody.
Yeah.
It's not.
What has been one of your greatest healing journeys that you've chosen? I know you've done a lot of different things, from you just name dropped EMDR, you've done hypnotherapy, you've done
Gestalt therapy,
yoga retreats back in the day.
Energy. I got energy healers on speed dial.
Okay, what has been your favorite modality so far? I think they're all beneficial.
Yes,
I'm not
they're all beneficial.
negating anything. I just want to ask, what has been the most beneficial so far, you
So
think?
for me is what I'll speak to, because
Yeah,
I would
for
say,
her, because they're all, that's why
everybody's different.
Exactly.
Everybody's different depending on what you have to heal. I think I've done so many different modalities, and I've done them at different stages of my own evolution. The most profound ones for me right now is the year I spent with Grace Smith in hypnotherapy was profound. I would say most recently, EMDR has been really profound and very fast, very deep, but very fast.
Interesting.
In its rapid reprocessing. And I've actually watched it occur. And the therapist I'm working with said to me, "You actually saw the reprocessing happen in your mind, where I literally see images in my brain starting to refile where they were before."
That's so cool.
And I've been able to rewire so many experiences to say, oh God, now I realize, as a little girl, standing at the top of that landing, hearing my parents fight, I can see myself as a little girl walking down those stairs and telling them to stop fighting.
Because you're now in the control seat
Exactly.
in the EMDR. Oh, that's awesome.
So you have a traumatic memory, you go back to that traumatic memory, and you're able to my experience, I've been able to recreate it.
Yeah.
How I would have handled it. And I've done that many times in different instances. And all of a sudden I'm like, I'm back in the control seat.
Yeah.
I'm not in the fight or flight.
Yeah.
Which I lived in forever.
Nice.
Forever. So hypnotherapy, EMDR are the most profound. I also really love energy work.
Yeah.
We've got blockages in our body. I've done some Kundalini activation, which I thought was very profound. I did that in Bali. That was incredible.
Okay.
Absolutely incredible. But so many, and it's at different points of my evolution. And I try it. And if it doesn't work, I give it a little bit of time. If I'm not seeing a result, I move out of it. Because I stayed in a therapeutic situation for almost 15 years. And she was a combination of not traditional talk therapy, but talk therapy and energy work.
Oh.
And when I look back on that, it was actually abusive in the end.
Oh, whoa.
And I look back on that time and say, again, I was just caught in that trauma response and connection. And you have to be your own advocate for your own healing. If you're not getting out of it, do not stay in it.
Yeah.
Because it can be damaging, very damaging.
It's true. It's true. She just said EMDR, and our family had a very horrific EMDR woman come work on all of us. And she actually, we found out later, wasn't even licensed, because that's a very specific training skill set. So just make sure you do your research too.
Please. What has been your most profound healing?
I would say Sweat Lodge or Temescal, which are very similar. Temescal is in the Mayan culture, but it's all of the same premise, which I think is very fascinating, that you have these cultures that never intertwined but had the same healing ceremonies, which is basically, it's mimicking the womb, but it's either made out of clay or it can be animal hide. And there's a circle in the middle, and they bring hot rocks that are blessed with herbs, and you sweat, but you have a healer in there that's working with you. So not only is it profound in the healing of releasing ailments or toxicity in the body, which we can scientifically track, the visions, the experience of it has been transformational. I've had multiple, just different variations of Temescal or Sweat Lodge that I can pinpoint to say that did some reworking on me.
Yeah.
And then I would say mushrooms. I don't do that often. I have a whole opinion on plant medicine.
Yeah.
Very strong opinion around plant medicine, actually, and what's evolving and where I see it evolving, which I feel I probably should talk about at some point.
Yes.
Maybe even now.
Yeah.
I say that cautionary, that not that everyone should just go take mushrooms.
No.
I've done it in reverence and in ceremony, and there's deep, profound medicine in it.
Yeah. Do you want to share where you're seeing plant medicine?
Yeah, what I'm seeing. Some people might listen to this and think judgy. Other people would be like, amen. So I don't know where you're at on the spectrum, but this is my opinion. I believe it's like, I look at plants like I look at Michelle, or I look at Craig, or my child, or someone I care about. Because you can be in relationships where you're extracting, where I could be like, Michelle, fill me up.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be a healthy relationship. Michelle would be like, you're taking from me, like energetically, emotionally, like you're constantly. I see this with a lot of people when it comes to plant medicine, just taking, fill me up, give me your messages, give me your codes. And because they do have messages, they do have codes. And then I see that the desire for the plant medicine and the society growing in desire for the plant medicine and becoming more mainstream, because back in the day, it was a very sacred situation and it was held in a different reverence and a ceremony, and it was not just so easy in the four walls of your living room.
Yeah.
And so when there's a demand for it, then the way that they cultivate it has changed. The way they extract it from the ground has changed. And I just feel like we have to look at plants like we would people. Don't keep extracting from them. Like you want everything, them to fix you. And sometimes you have to own your own energy, your own wisdom, your own power. And so I think it has to be this mutual exchange. The plant has to invite you. You have to ask and then take. And I'm just seeing this culture of just take. Because it is the culture we're in. It's like, how much abundance can we have? How many shoes can we have? How many purses can we have? How many bottles of serums can we have? How much? And I'm one of them. I'm like in this culture too.
Yeah.
And I just don't want that. I feel so protective of plants and animals. And I'm like, can we not do that to them? And we have to look at it even to our pill bottles or to our serums, because maybe they are using plants in those serums. Do we need 5 of them? Can we use all the things we're doing consciously and like a little less? I need more. I need more.
Yeah. Yeah, that quick fix. I'm new to plant medicine. I've had 2 psilocybin journeys, which one was very profound. The other one, I think who you're doing it with also, if you're doing it,
Huge.
it is so important to understand where the plants come from, the reverence for them, the sacredness of this journey, as you expressed. But I think about the facilitation of these journeys, particularly if you're new to it, as well as integration.
Yeah.
After the journey.
1000%.
And really having the right people help you navigate that is really important. And I too am getting a little bit worried about where plant medicine is going to become over commercialized.
Yeah.
And you can get it on any street corner and do it anywhere you want. And it'll happen the way you're describing it. There won't be the reverence, there won't be the sacredness, and there'll be some really damaging results from this, if not.
Yeah, you're opening energy pathways. And so I've actually only done ceremonies by myself. I've not used a facilitator because I don't want the exchange of their energy. That's been me personally, but I also facilitate. So I feel like I can handle my own facilitation. I see people going into a room that hasn't been cleared because we're not just dealing with this seen world. We're dealing with the unseen world too. We've got spirits all around us.
Yeah.
And when you take these plant medicines, it's almost like a million puncture holes to your soul are exposed. And then the person next to you, the same, and every spirit in that room. And so you just are now, it's like having the biggest orgy.
Yeah.
So you're going to take on everyone's energy.
Yeah.
And so I think people just need to know that. It's like, I'm not judging it. I'm just saying, I think you need to know the truth that if you do it in that way, there needs to be, how do you protect your own energy? You need to understand that. How do you stay within your own energy so you're not taking someone else's trauma? Because you could energetically take on someone else's trauma that's being released out of their body through that medicine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the topics we haven't just talked about is a health journey. That's another big passion of mine. And we've had a lot of conversations about what's going on in the health space and what we own about our own lifestyle choices and how we live, but also about Western medicine versus Eastern medicine. Where do you believe health starts and ends?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I feel like I look at life galactic and ancient. And I see these humans, I actually believe all the health is actually ancient. And it's right in front of our eyes. It's like the story of the man who's like trying to dig up riches and he was living on it the whole time. I believe that plants, the earth, the ancient wisdom is the ultimate health. And then we've got very galactic humans that are like creating these pods that have EMFs and they're like, lay in the pod when you have a tide pool.
Yeah.
Or they're like, and you're going to see it because people think it's fun and they love to create these very galactic devices to wear on your hand. And we have the aura rings and we're like, hey, I slept bad. Today's a bad day. Like you will not see me wearing an aura ring.
You're so funny.
Because I'm like, we're so programmable. My sense on health and wellness is go back to the ancient. What were they teaching? What herbs were they taking? How were they walking? Were they sleeping? Were they napping? Were they sun gazing? I guarantee if we went back to that, half of the stuff we're dealing with, probably even more than half, would dissipate.
Yeah.
It's just that we're spinning so high in the galactic realm that we are losing these human bodies physically.
Yeah.
So something's going to have to shift.
Yeah.
And that might be that our body, we turn less human.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
where I'm sensing it might head.
Very interesting. I'm going to go a little more mainstream because this is who we are. And you may be very right about that.
Yeah.
What we're dealing with today in this country is an epidemic, and it's a significant health crisis. And
It's significant.
And what I have witnessed on my own journey, which was I'm from a lineage of Western doctors, raised in that environment. And I finally got to a point that I started questioning wait a minute. So a doctor's telling me my only symptom was fatigue. Coming out of corporate, really shocking. I'm exhausted. The stress was through the roof. My doctor, after running all the normal panels, blood panels and everything else, says, oh my God, you're perfectly healthy. There's nothing wrong. Michele, why don't we put you on an antidepressant? I don't know how many women I have told that story to that have repeated back to me. Same thing happened to me.
It's happening. Actually doesn't even have to be fatigue.
No, anything.
Oh, I'm having all these other symptoms.
Right, let me
Let's
put you
do
on
an
an antidepressant. And so I was like, no, that's not going to be my answer. And this is from a doctor I trusted, a really well-known doctor I was living at the time, and a doctor I trusted. But I knew enough about my own body and my own sense. There's more answers. So that moved me over to integrative medicine. And the trouble with integrative medicine is it's amazing, except it's all going to be out-of-pocket expenses. We have a system that's broken on so many levels. So I move over to integrative medicine. Oh, and guess what I find out? I have mold toxicity and heavy metal toxicity. Both are what's relating to my fatigue. So I go on almost a 2-year detoxing because mold has to come out of your body very slow or you will get very sick. And heavy metals. And it has been an interesting journey as the detox protocols started to kick in and they started to remove from my body, the fatigue went away. Gone out of my body. And I just don't know that enough people know to check the toxic load on their body right now. And I think it's leading to a lot of disease. And again, these integrative doctors are relatively far and few between, but they are out there and there's some really good ones. And finding a good doctor, also doing your work and finding the right doctor, because what we're finding in the body is if the body has too much of a toxic load, and that's what the immune system is spending its energy fighting, it can't defend against cells that may be changing or other issues in the body. And yes, I do believe if we could eventually get back to what we started with, which was all natural herbs, everything from nature is actually very healing. We've gone to the complete opposite where it's big pharma's running this country right now between everything else. So it's really taken your own health, being an advocate for your own health and don't stop asking questions.
Yeah.
I think we're putting our hands in doctors and in leaders and in a lot of people way too frequently and giving our power over and saying they must be right. They're educated, they're trained, they're well known. You have to start to know your body and figure out for yourself what's really going on.
Yeah, but I think that it's good to go deeper with this question because I believe we're getting all of a sudden there's mold toxicity everywhere. There's heavy metal toxicity everywhere. I don't think it's just from these homes. I think it's a consciousness. And it's a consciousness of being in the four walls of your life. Like, honestly, 4 walls of a car, 4 walls of an office, 4 walls of a home. Where have we gone outside and danced more? I think there's suppression involved with heavy metals. And I know it sounds woo-woo, but I guarantee that you're not finding that in people that are out and about outside of the 4 walls and living more freely and not being in an office cuticle with stress. They're not testing for heavy metals and mold toxicity, guaranteed.
Yeah.
So there's to it. And that's why I say this ancient technology of earth and herbs, going slower, resting, all these different ways that cultures used to live, they weren't testing for mold and heavy metals.
No.
And a lot of times if someone would go, hey, I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling tired all the time, they would ask different questions. When was the last time you danced?
Yeah.
When was the last time you sang?
Yeah.
When was the last time you did something you really wanted to do?
Yeah.
And they weren't asking questions of, oh, okay. But with all that said, the food industry is corrupt.
Correct.
Let's just name it what it is.
Yes.
And you're believing everyone's believing every day in commercial that they see and watching. At least that's how we grew up. I don't know if people are watching TV like we did. I did.
Yeah.
But the commercials, anything that's getting marketed on TV is most likely bad for you.
Yeah. Yes.
So just take note.
Yes.
And there's so much toxicity in the food, but we're going to a 4-walled box again to buy it.
Yeah.
We've forgotten how to plant. We've forgotten how to, and I know that might be like wishful thinking, Danette, but I do think there is an outcry, and it takes a whole nation to get really sick, and a nation to potentially, this great civilization we live in right now may come to its end.
Yeah.
If we don't turn this tide, and it's going to be about the food. We're going to look back and be like, it was about the food. It was the way we lived in our food.
The food and the water we
Yep.
lived in.
It's how you poison a civilization from the inside out.
And then we take medications to
eradicate it. Yeah. So
eradicate
some
the
people
issue.
can make money.
Exactly. And you just see the cycle. So it's so clear.
It's
to me
so
now.
clear.
But this
clear.
reclamation of personal power, both when we talk about healing, healing just isn't emotional.
Yeah.
It's physical.
Yeah.
It's spiritual.
It's all of it.
It's all of it.
You can't
So
just do one leg at the table.
you cannot.
Yeah. It's 3.
Yeah.
Or 4.
Or 4. Exactly. Or 4.
But not 1. What an honor to have you and to
Mm.
jam out. We want to hear from all of you guys if you loved this conversation. I had fun.
Yes, I did too. I had a
I
great
feel-
time. Let's hope they did. But yes, it would be great to hear.
Yeah. So we want to hear from you guys, and I'm going to put all of Michelle's information below. And we can't wait for you guys to just continue to follow on the show and be a part of this conversation. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, my loves. If you're ready to invite more abundance into your life, I'm talking financially, spiritually, and relationships, I have something for you. I've taken the powerful principles from my latest book, Embrace Abundance, and created a 3-day abundance challenge to help you unlock your full potential and start manifesting the life you truly desire. These 3 transformational days, I'll personally guide you step by step with coaching calls, showing you how to shift your belief system, how to see you attract in real time, align with your purpose, and create prosperity without sacrificing your values. By the end of day 3, you'll have a clear blueprint to begin attracting abundance with ease and confidence. If you're ready to actually learn how to do this, I'll put this in the show notes, and I'll see you inside the 3-day abundance challenge.